two of our daughters are married, and sometimes they need to just have a conversation. And they're wait. Well, I'll wait till Abu goes now. Kind of talk about this girly stuff, So it opens up the schedule, and a lot of people go, "I don't want my schedule open." You don't know if you want it opened up until you have it opened up.
Assalamu alaikum, peace. I'm Coach Nazir.
Assalamu alaikum, peace. I'm Coach Fatimah, his wife.
Assalamu alaikum, peace. I'm Coach Nyla. I'm also his wife.
Yep, we are the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and authors of Let's Talk Polygyny Uncensored.
Yeah.
So if you haven't figured out, I'm married to both these women. We practice polygyny. And today we want to address a polygyny myth. Okay? And we all know that myths are something that people believe to be true, but usually aren't true. Okay? So the myth we're going to discuss today is very common, hence it's a myth. It says this, it says, you know what, polygyny, a man married to multiple women, he's the only one that really benefits from this type of arrangement. A man that has multiple wives, there's no benefit to the women. All right? So let's address that myth. Who wants to start?
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters.
Yeah, we myth busting.
We probably mythbusters.
Okay, I guess I'll go first on this because, I guess it comes into of course you're going to say that it's not only, for the husband because you're an incoming wife, you're the second wife, so of course you're going to say that. However, yes, I am going to say that because it's so many different things that, the benefits that come from as far as women are concerned. But I realized that I think we actually have more benefits than the men do, depending on, dealing with what they deal with when it comes to taking care of the families and making sure that emotions are protected and a lot of different things like that. It's not just go, let me marry someone else and go skip away into the sunset in the forest and whatever the case may be. But
anybody's skipping to the forest.
Ain't nobody.
We ain't skipping away to the forest.
That's kind of scary.
That ain't what we do.
But the thing is,
ain't coming back.
Anyway, you're not forest. The sunset and the tree. No, whatever. I don't know. Forget all that. What I'm saying is that it's not just benefits for them, and like I said, I think way more benefits for us because of the time. Where the time is split. You do have some time for a little bit more self-care. With me, I'm like, this family is pretty large. You're only seeing us right here, but our family is pretty large. And to be able to say, hey, go ask your brother to take you here, or, hey, your Fatimah, is inviting y'all over and giving me a break. That is amazing. So, so there's a number of benefits like that. And just the relationship that I have with my co-wife, where it's just a beautiful friendship. Mm-hmm. You can get that. I know a lot of times people are like, well, you should be sworn enemies and all these other crazy things like that. But seriously, that is a great benefit in polygyny when you're going through some stuff. I went through probably a number of things within this past year that I don't know how I would have dealt with it if it wasn't for her. So it's a beautiful thing. That's just a few of the benefits that I can talk about, what I've been through. And that other people have even said as far as having a co-wife as a friend, person that was helping her with some things, teaching her some things, having bonus children, women who can't have children, who married someone else, who has her bonus children that's around her. So it's a lot of benefits.
I think for me, personally, it's just a lot of time for myself so that I can work on myself. So I know many times that, when we're wives and we're mothers, we get distracted by the title, or titles. And it doesn't allow us to work on ourselves because we're so used to giving to those two roles that we're depleted and then we don't have anything left for ourselves. So polygyny taught me that I need to refocus and recenter and redirect my energy toward me more so than others so that I can help others. You know, I wasn't equipped before to help like I can now. And also having adult children to be able to talk to them when they need to about deep stuff, like really deep conversations. 2 of our daughters are married and sometimes they need to just have a conversation and they're wait, well, I'll wait till Abu goes now, kind of talk about this girly stuff, you know? So it opens up the schedule. And a lot of people go, I don't want my schedule open. You don't know if you want it opened up until you have it opened up. You don't know what that looks like until you're in it. So the benefits of personal development, growth, and opening up my schedule and having a closer bond with Allah, for me as a practicing Muslima, it was priceless. So I'm not the me that I was before. It wasn't about making it like it was before polygyny. It's about making it as close to what I can, but better. So that's the benefit for me personally, especially as an initial wife to those of you that are new. And even the subsequent wives deal with this as well. But the initial wife, it's a different role because you're the one that's going to get hit with it first. That's what I've been told. I got hit with it first with polygyny. And I'm like, I didn't get hit with anything. I got elevated by it. So it's about what we say to ourselves about this lifestyle. This lifestyle is not easy, but it's not something that's impossible. And we got to understand that. You know, we want to make it impossible. It's so easy to not like it. It's so easy to not like co-wives. It's so easy. We would not be here if it wasn't for the work that we did. So that matters so much, and especially in polygyny, especially. We'll say you
Well, what is your opinion when people say, oh, you know, now you got half a husband. He only your husband half the time.
Oh, we've heard it. He doesn't get off, he's not off the clock at any time.
Right.
So when they do that, they say, well, he's way not there off the clock today. I'm like, oh, what clock?
Wow.
You know, there ain't no clock. He's our husband all the time.
I am Coach Nazir.
And I'm Coach Fatimah, his wife.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as the authors of the book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, how can you get your hands on a copy of it right now? The great part is, we're about to share that with you, but first, let me tell you about why you need to at least get your hands on 1 or maybe more copies, depending on where you are in your polygynous journey.
Some of the things that we discuss in our book are issues about trust, insecurities, jealousy among wives, and maybe even, possibly even, creating lasting friendships.
Especially friendships amongst co-wives. And we share in this book how you can understand that it takes a village, that polygyny is not some taboo topic or something that's going to leave women stranded alone and kids not loving each other or feel like they're left alone by their fathers or from their fathers or whatever the case may be. You will learn so much in this book. Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored.
Indeed, we lay down the practical steps that we wish we'd have had when we started our polygynous journey over 13 years ago. Well, the time is here, and all you have to do, go to letstalkpolygamy.com. Order a copy, order the bundle, do whatever it is you need to do so there's no more excuses, and we making marriage great again by reminding people of polygamy, which is an ancient solution to a modern day problem. Let's Talk Polygamy.com. Get your pre-sale order on. With that being said,
make sure you are growing intentionally,
Loving fearlessly,
and connecting on a higher level
every single
day.
Visit the link. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Peace.
So now you might not physically have access to him, but he doesn't have physical access to you all the time. So we want to keep score. Well, you don't get to see him all the time. You don't get to see me all the time. What you mean? I matter. You know, I recently, as our family traveled, I was actually traveling with my co-wife, and we playing with the kids, honey. Shout out to us. And shout out to Coach Nyla for the, a couple legs with us too. But I specifically remember this little girl was sitting a couple rows behind. She asked her dad, what do you do for a living? And he told her. And then she asked her mom, what do you do? And she just kind of looked at her daughter. And the daughter, this girl was 4 years old, one of them smart ones. She goes, "You're supposed to want to be somebody too." To her mom. This gives me a chance to work on the somebody I want to be too. So I don't want, what's nice about OPR and the work we're doing, our children get to say, our bonus children get to say, "I like the work that you all are doing because you're helping other people." But that couldn't help with our growth. So we get him, he gets us, but maybe not our presence all the time. So when people say he's clocking in and out, he's with us.
Yeah.
He's there for us when we need him.
Oh, did you say that? 100% husband, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like that half of the thing. And even in monogamy, he's not physically there
Exactly.
100% of the time. So I think, you know,
But you
go
want
into
nobody
that
to be
whole-
there 100% of the
That's
time all the
true.
time.
Right.
And we do tend to generalize, distort, and delete when we sit there and say, "Oh, when we did this and that and everything like that." I'm like, you ain't do that all the time. That probably was one time
It's
in
life.
your life that you did this. You know, so we have to be careful with that and say, you know, he's not with me all the time anyway. Do I really want him with me all the time?
He's
anyway?
not built for that. We're not built for that. We're not even built to be around people. Can you imagine being around your child all the time? Just all the
Well,
time.
you already know.
You want to be around them all the time. No, I've never met a parent that ever said that. I don't get to be with them all the
Term
time.
babysitter came from somewhere.
Babysitter. See, they can give them back. So it's like, but when you're a parent, we have to have breaks from our children. We love them.
Mhm.
We want to be around them, but not all the time.
Right.
So we have to keep things in the perspective. So we've been on live. Somebody asked, "Well, you get a half husband?" Coach Fatimah, he gone. I left him at home too. I went on trips.
And then went with each other.
We didn't went with each other.
Oh my
I had no eyes
Shut
at the time. So I'm just left kids
Yes.
and work.
So
Which is
the
fine. It's
same.
life.
Right, and people gotta understand that's part of life is that you don't
People
get
got
access
jobs,
to people
schooling,
all the
all kind of stuff.
time. But they want to make it a poly thing. That ain't a poly thing. That's a life
A
thing.
life thing. Thank
Right.
you.
Right.
So
Facts.
true.
Like we talked about, we have a big family, right? So we have between all of us is 12 children, 10 biological children, 2 bonus children, right? Out of those, 5 of them are young women. 2 are already married and they prefer monogamy. They are monogamy. 3 of them prefer polygyny. Never been in a relationship, none of that. 3 of them actually want to be in a polygamous marriage because they recognize the benefits that come for the women in polygyny.
Mhm.
Okay, because again, there are a number of different identities, and I shared it before. It's not really a video for it, but just in polygyny between us 3, there are 7 different spheres that we really operate in. Okay, again, now is not the video for that. Of course, you can go to our store and check out our deep dive products or counseling and coaching that goes along with it. But the fact of the matter is, there are a whole bunch of benefits. Now, the main benefit that people throw out there with polygyny, oh, sex, you have sex, you have sex with most people. Okay, cool. Here's the deal.
Dang.
There's 24 hours in a day. I gotta address this because there's 24 hours in a day. How many hours a day are you participating in your marriage and having sex? 1 hour, 2 hours, 3? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Very small fraction, 1 to begin with, but there's a whole lot more, clearly the majority of time that goes into other marital issues and things, right? See, and furthermore, how many people do you know that just waited to get married to have sex? What do the stats look like?
Who's 16 out these streets just all over each other? That's the thing. Stop thinking like a teenager on this adult
Thank you.
stuff.
Thank you.
See, that's that part. We're not teenagers. So I said, when you, I was gonna say you're my age, but that's all right. I'll leave that out. But I'm not a 16, 15-year-old girl. And if I was, I wasn't a 15, 16-year-old boy. So they operate different, right? So when we start thinking like teenagers, oh, it's just about sex. Yeah, to a 14, 15-year-old boy, yeah, it is.
Or
They full of babies.
Or some of the
Right.
reasoning, I'm gonna tell you, ladies,
Ridiculous.
stop trying to figure out why.
It's too much.
Stop trying to figure out why, because 1, you're not a man. You don't possess the tools, okay?
Literally.
And this is what I mean. When I hear women talking about, oh, I wish that polyandry, we could have multiple husbands and stuff like that when they talk about Islam.
God.
And people, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't care if it's polyandry, polyamory, polygyny, whatever. You can do whatever you want to do. You're an adult, all right? We just simply pro morals. We practice polygyny. But here, listen to this though. The reason that I heard from women when they said it, well, I'll just choose this husband for this week, and he do this for me, or that for me, and this for me, and that for me.
Okay.
See, they're looking at being served.
Right.
That's the reverse role. As the husband, I'm not looking for, her to serve me and then her to serve me. I'm a man. I have to demonstrate value. So I'm serving my family. That's not easy. Okay, it's not, oh, I get to choose this and do that, y'all do that for me. You're not thinking about traditional gender roles because we believe in gender roles strongly. We believe you must have skills to handle business, so cooking is not just a woman's skill and so on and so forth. You need to have basic life skills in general, like we teach our children, but we believe in gender roles. Okay, so it's not that, oh, yeah, I'm gonna marry you and you with the, I don't cook, don't clean, whop it out and everything else, and you headed for divorce. You know what I mean? So with that being said, if you are a man, you're a man of value, you actually have to be more than twice the average man because you got to separate yourself from the trivial many. But that means you have to serve the masses.
Yeah.
You got to serve your family.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that in and of itself destroys the whole myth that you're sitting back getting fed grapes, and I ain't been fed grapes and fanned from either one of these ladies. And nor am I interested. Because we want a legacy build. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, we have to make a video or something, I don't know. But anyway, the whole point is there are benefits that go around in this ancient form of marriage to begin with. And it don't just sit, well, oh, the man just saw the benefits, because in your mind, you think it being served if it was the reverse roles versus actually doing the serving, being a man and demonstrating that.
Yeah.
So prayerfully that helped dealing with this myth-busting idea that women get no benefits in polygyny. All right, so with that, we'll work out some GLC.
Make sure you are growing intentionally.
Loving fearlessly.
And connecting on a higher level every single day.
So,
So, peace.
Peace, y'all.